what I see for myself is when I have these experiences, it's more like a knowing that it's instead of mentalizing this stuff, it's just like I kind of, like you said, I kind of perceive it and I know it. It's not like I'm mentalizing and studying something. It's a total different avenue or understanding for me. And another, I had a couple interesting dreams in the last few days, and I had a chance to be introduced to the influence. And as I was going to sleep, and I was, singing the new you to myself, all of a sudden I found myself in a free fall, sensation of free falling. So I just let myself go, just completely let go and free fell. And the next thing I knew, I was in a World War II twin engine airplane, a DC-3 or C-47, kind of like that one we showed you pictures of at the air show we had here recently. And I was a passenger, I wasn't the pilot, and the airplane was taxiing into a World War II hangar, and the engines were still running, and it was just kind of rolling along very slow. And so I got out of the airplane, and I was looking around to see if I could find anybody that knew how to shut the engines off and stop it from rolling forward in the hangar, before it hit one of the walls with the engines running. And as I'm looking around, this one officer comes walking along in the hangar, and I say, "Hey, you need to get somebody to shut the engines off in this airplane." And about the time I said that, a whole bunch of troops came rushing in, armed to the hilt with weapons, like a troop of soldiers, and they came in through the hangar door, and they started shooting off all their weapons in every which direction. There was no logic to what direction that they were shooting their weapons, but they unloaded all their weapons. They just shot everything that they had, and I thought, well, that's pretty bizarre. And then the next thing I know is at this military base, they had these turrets with like 4 machine guns on them. And there was one right outside the hangar. And then there was another one on a roof across the way. And they kind of look like a little dome with a barrel sticking out, kind of like a Star Wars type of machine guns. And the next thing I know, this gun on the ground starts shooting in the sky and everywhere. And then the next thing I see it doing is it's shooting at the other turret gun that's mounted on a roof across the way. And so it starts shooting, and all the concrete barriers it's built in starts exploding. And all of a sudden, that gun turns around and points at the one on the ground and opens fire and starts shooting at the one that's on the ground. Like there's total chaos. Like nobody is in control, and everybody's shooting at everybody every which direction. And then the next thing, this one on the roof wiped out the gun turret that was on the ground level, and then it opened fire on the hangar where I was at. So I went running behind a brick wall, and this gun kept firing at me, and I would try to move along this wall, and I could not be seen by the turret, but as I would walk along one way and peek around the corner, the turret gun on the roof across the way shot at me right at that corner, and I went back the other way, and as soon as I looked around the corner, it was shooting at me at that end. So this turret gun knew exactly where I was as I was going back and forth behind this brick and concrete wall. And as that was taking place, all of a sudden, I had a sudden realization that this whole thing was done by the influence. And then I woke up from the dream. Well, I thought that was kind of interesting. That was my first experience with it. I mean, it was like a knowingness, I can't put it in words, but I just knew that it was the influence. Well, then I had another dream, and this other dream, I saw all of Eckankar. I saw the whole thing of Eckankar. I saw all the membership and the leaders and the buildings and all their sites all around the world. And the influence comes flying in, and the influence is shooting out like rays or telepathic communications and zapping and maybe tap lines and shooting it into all the people and all the buildings and actually dictating the total function, completely 100% controlling everything that takes place in the Eckankar organization. And I knew it was the influence that was doing it. Just 100% full knowledge, full knowing that she was behind it. And then I woke up from that dream. So there's a couple interesting dreams that I had.
Well, I like that one, Bob, with the influence. That's really an adventure, isn't it? Superhero adventure, and you're seeing what's going on. If you could write that out, then Ava and I will make an image and we'll pass it out. So then they'll come after you. I want to see what happens. you kids are doing it, you see. So yeah, we have these experiences, and I know we have that, and it's the knowingness. Remember, Paul talked. He goes, well, of everything, I like knowing, knowingness, and etc. And I get it. And so yes, there is that knowingness there, and so again, with our personal self, we think, oh, okay, well, I know it. I know this, or you tell the Eckas something, they go, well, I don't need to hear that. I already know it. You see, that's what it's become, and in a literal sense. And just like the Bible, when Jesus talked about the Word, he was talking about the sound, the sound current that Paul referred to. But now, what do you see? The religious people hold it. They hold up the book with all the words in it, and they go, "This is the Word." You see, it's the written, printed stuff is now the Word. You see, because now it's literal. That's the control factor of it. So what I'm saying here is that, yes, we have this knowingness. You do, because that's in your real awareness. You are seeing it. You do. And so, again, but recognizing the isness, that's something else. You see? So you know what's going on there. You really do. You know it. And again, very real, I suggest you write down that Eckankar one, because it's something we can bug them with. And then we'll sign your name on it, just like 50 Years in Eck with Sandy. It's wonderful. See, you took the risk, you stepped up. But you see what I'm saying here? Yes, you know these things. And what if Sandy just said, oh, I had this experience, I know it, but she never stepped up here? See, what if she never did it? It's in the doing, isn't it? It's stepping up and doing something. Anybody can have experiences. The Eckas, they do. Have experiences, and I'm sure that, just like it's said that, Harold's using the new you and whatever. But is he telling others? No, he ain't doing it. He's keeping it secret if he is. And they're using what I'm saying. Joni looks at what I'm saying and writing. She's reading it. She's, she's configuring it to her business plan. But to really step up and be real with everything and to demonstrate it and do something. See, that's the next step. Yes, we do know certain things. But then to step up, just like Sandy, this is what I'm saying. You know all these things, okay? Now, what is the next step that you don't see that you will do? See, that's the fun part.
So stepping up is what? How would you define stepping up?
Well, just like what you're doing, a step at a time. Remember that song in Mary Poppins? Steppy time, steppy time. Yes, Dick Van Dyke, when he was singing that, he was the chimney cleaner, etc. So again, stepping up is a step at a time, going through the process to wake up to what is being presented now, instead of just going, oh well, whatever. Most people a lot of people come just for the literal reference that I'm creating, and that's it, and they're gone. They don't really see the reality. Well, the real stepping up is to where you take this and then you figure it out for what it is, and then you step up and stand real with the real guys as to what they're doing also, and they are doing something. And this is where Claudia and I, because again, we're very close in certain things, because most people, they don't want to hear this, the galactic stuff and whatever what's really taking place, etc. But that's why the boys are showing her and etc. Because again, she becomes the witness to what's more than just what's taking place on the world. The world that we're experiencing here is the effect of others. This is what we're experiencing, and you want to keep experiencing that. So you can know whatever, but what will you do? So it's in the doing, you see. It's really in the doing, like Braveheart, it's in the doing, but without destruction. That's the whole thing. Or without control. How do you do it? See, it's with your real awareness. So stepping up is just that. In other words, you have these experiences, an example as you're going through the process, but see, eventually those that see it will have a real position here. The other ones won't. They'll be struggling with this world because the world is going to do what it's going to do. I'm not here to change the free will. Again, just like yesterday when we talked about change. Change is social behavior. Not here to change social behavior into what? Making more good people that do what? Agree to the system that's destroying them? Yeah, those are the good people, isn't it? So again, it's not about change. It's creating a new position that makes sense with the isness life is. That's the real stepping up. So you have these experiences, all right, but at the same time, we have a little fun in the adventure. And these are all the images, and Ava, and especially Kelsey, she has them. We've got hundreds of images of Harold and Joni and all the funny things we did over the years before you kids came here, but now you're here, and that experience right there, that adds to the adventure of what we're doing while we're getting ready for the bigger part, you see. So that's part of stepping up, taking the risk to do something, in the everyday mode that you don't usually do. It's easy to do what you've always done. It's easy to talk about what you've already been through. We sit around the dinner table or whatever, we talk about our lives and what we've been through, and we laugh and giggle about it. This is what most of the world does. They don't take the time to see something real and potential because they're really sitting around agreeing to the demise of themselves, and they don't see it. We do. So this is the real stepping up is that, okay, from all of that you've done, what is it that you will bring forward? So this is where I suggested you do the Skype. Now you see, you're getting some momentum going here. And so the next step is to, continually step up, and from what you're experiencing, how will you, share that? How will you creatively bring it forward and put it out there? So this is where I suggest to most people, okay, you want it easy? Well, just go on Facebook and share our images. Until, like Kelsey and that's what she did too, little sweetie, and now she creates her own. She creates the website. She does everything. She gets donations. She does whatever. She's on her own. She's taken off. I see her as the Nana. She takes care of the rest of the kids. She's the Nana Nanu, you see? And so she's like that, and Ava and I are kind of like the mom and the dad, but we just really manage this to where we get people prompted to step up and do something, not just sit and be passive and listen, you see? So the Skypes, the real activity of the Skypes is to, hey, if you're going to come here, bring something beneficial to what we're doing. And see, you're doing that, and then the next step, just like Sandy, she's sharing these things. Now I see the next step is, I've seen this already. I saw myself as a conductor, and that's really what I am. I'm conducting all this, and when I did the first event there at OCC, I always wanted to be a conductor. I thought it'd be cool to be up there. Well, I did. I was conducting the event and putting it together, and very grateful to Valerie Keller that was there. She was a music major, and she'd been there for years in Concordia also, and she showed me how to get the grants and whatever, but she helped put that together. She mainly did most of it. But I created the idea so that we could do this. And so this is the idea that we're doing here. And so I see when the funding comes and whatever, yes, I was going to hire professionals to write our own orchestrational piece along the lines of the new you, etc., to bring that out there. Well, here's Sandy. She can do it, and especially with the, the synthesizers and all the equipment that we have today that you can basically do it on your computer. You can do it right in your house. So again, having fun to create that and then continually fine tune it to bring something like that to the world, because you see how the world reacts. This is where in creation, yes, we step up to do something you might say the world's never seen or heard before. Yeah. That's what I'm always looking for. So to do that, and the Vessel Project and all these other things, what we're doing, it's along the lines, but at the same time, it's brand new. And the best part of it is that when we do it, see, whatever Harry in the world does, and even John Ellison, whatever, is the isness backing that? No. It's a good thing. It's cool. It's whatever, growing fruits and vegetables in your house. So that's a great thing, whatever. But it has nothing to do with the isness. We do. The boys will back us. See, life will back us because it's all focused on the isness. The end result is your real awareness, not just satisfying one of the five bodies. There's always more to it. That's the fun part. That's the real adventure. So, yes, your experience there with the influence, yeah, just more than describe that, romance it a little bit, and Ava will make an image, and we'll put it out there, and we'll see what happens to you. That's the first step. See, she's just loosening up with you.
Okay, I will write it up.
Yes, and Sandy will be there to fix anything that happens, right, Sandy?
Right.
You two.
Well, I can get the ideas, and Sandy can.
See, now comes the real confrontation. Yeah. See, so you had all that fun. Now comes the real thing where you're letting the world know what's real, and that's what's going on. And by the very fact that you're doing that, there's going to be, I would say, at least one person in the membership that's going to see that and realize, hey, I knew something was going on. Now I see it. Just for that one person. Okay?
Yep.
Get them out of their trap because they can agree to what Harry and Joni are doing forever. But you doing that one person could see that, and all of a sudden there's a new bright star, you see, that steps up. Just like you did. You stepped up.
Great.
Well, this is wonderful,
Yeah.
Duane. Thank you for sharing all your wisdom and knowledge with us, taking the time for us.
Thank you so much.
I had one little comment about the discussion early on about our system, and Duane's comment is right on point with respect to the Constitution and all that stuff. Yeah, it's totally unnecessary, and the only reason that it was set up was as a guard for the people between them and what they were creating. It wasn't a rule for the people. That's probably a misnomer. Most people don't understand that. There's a law enforced that each and every one of us is responsible for, and that's our interaction with other people, and that's what they call the common law, even though it's much more in depth than that. But somebody in our group is getting ready to cross lines between the things that the system thinks you need and the things that we know you don't need. And I think Kelsey's probably right in the middle of that one. But it's again, it's something that when like the other things that we don't see, there are things in there in our system that are not visible, and this is one of them. So until you can see it and understand it and know what it is, it's just another one of those things down the road a ways for people to get a handle on. And it's actually part of what is coming for people that don't have the capacity to see and understand. All of a sudden they're going to be caught up in the reality of it. And I used to, in some of my writings and documents that I would file, I would usually put that cause and effect comment in there for those who were reading it. You know, people, you really don't know what you're doing, you know, and at some point in time, you're going to wish you understood it before. But then, like Duane says so many times, it'll just be too late for some of them. They're just going to have to go around and do it all over again.
Yeah, Mike, we've got that idea there. So real fast, and we'll wrap this up. And so again, what we went through, we just use the United States and the Constitution and the formulation of it, and just the basic idea, and not all the the intricacies of it, but the idea was, yeah, something was created. It was an idea to kind of help the people out. Well, basically, it was all marketing ploy because, again, the United States was set up as a takeover country, and just like when Paul created Eckankar, it was a benefit. But you see what it is now. So we have the same ideas. You're looking at the same things, but realistically, in its own way, because of how the whole system is set up now, it's really a struggle to get anything to be agreed to that does make sense, you see. So again, what do? Keep struggling with this old stuff, trying to make sense of it according to how it was or should be, you see? And so, or does it make more sense to create a whole new position that supersedes all of it and we don't need it? Just like Eckankar, yeah, the writings, the teachings are there. Is it working? People are struggling to figure it out. Is it working? No, it's not. So you struggle with these things. So we do these little things in the meantime, but there's something better that's been decided coming along, and who will see that? So that's the idea. So in the meantime, we play with these things. I can hear Sandy sniffling. This really got to you, didn't it, Sandy?
Yeah.
You kids are wonderful. Thank you so much. You're wonderful for stepping up and doing this. And Miss Janine is here now. She was here with Mike last night. Yeah, the kids are great. And they left us some eggs. And so that's cool, too. So, okay, kids, we're going to jump out in the water. We'll see you soon. Let's see what happens. And, yeah, Bob, as soon as you can, and romance that experience a little bit. Let's make it fun, and we'll create an image. And let's see what happens here. It's another step for mankind. Yeah.